theme 2 is very important, and that's where all our interventional aspects would start playing in with other leaders also talking about it, which is about straight from the horse's mouth. We have heard Mr. Rupal, but now I'm very happy and excited. Vijay, Aditya and his team, Vikas and his team has assembled to talk about this, what they are doing it today, what is going right, what are the questions in people's mind based upon their experiences, how they are going towards a better future, right? How they want a navigation for it, and they can trace that path. So I would, with a small pause on the video, which Megha is going to play it, I would request after the video for both of you to come and of course your team to come and start talking about it. What do you mean? Great, Megha, thanks. Over to you, Vijay, Aditya, and Vikas and team, leading the theme 2 from the forefront.
I think Vikas, you're speaking on mute. You're not audible right now.
Yes, you're on mute. Aditya, can you give him ring?
I will just see if I can unmute him.
Yeah.
Yep, I think he's unmuted.
Yeah, here, Vikas.
Good afternoon, everyone. Sir, आप mute कर दीजिए.
Yeah, we can see you both. Yeah.
It's okay now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. I would like to trigger the discussion further with Vijay Kalra sir and Tisha Vasri, who are, I think, more than 4 decades of experience in this industry. And as we just saw that how Rajesh Uppalji shared with us that how sustainability is important and how the organization is interweaving that in their regular KRA. And we are talking about the sustainability in the entire organization. Similarly, as Professor Chandan told us that without this, I think it is not going to be viable or sustainable business. So putting together the thought, so Kalra sir, I would like to ask one point, as you are leader in a leadership position in industry from the last 4 decades, and managed many ups and downs. What are your views about the industry which is changing maybe in 90s to in last decade, and how the customers see it? Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Vikas, and thanks, Vivek. Thanks, Flow Group, for this session. And good to hear from Mr. Uppal and then Chandan. Chandan will not remember, but I think we have already shared this platform 3 or 4 times when the thoughts were at nascent stage.
I remember. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. And it was good to hear. And then really loved when Andy showed one model how to really look at traceability. Sorry, not sustainability. And the point which I really loved was that define your ambition and then how do you track it? No, so it's not about only having ambitions, but how to make it deliver. No, I think the most important thing, and I think discussion today is more about how to execute the thoughts. No, and I've seen in most of the organization and typical in India, while we have people who can dream and plan big, but when it comes to execution, and because execution is a long drawn process with a lot of failures happening in between, and just keeping tight and still making it happen is not easy. But you really need good visionaries, people to finish the game, no, and that's what it is. So because I think the game has changed. Okay, the game which, if I am there in the industry from 40 years, the game which I saw first 20 years and then 10 years after 1991, and what I'm seeing from last not 10 years, but I think 5-6 years is huge different. And this is phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 of game. It is something like started with 5-day cricket match to 1 day, which was in between, and now it is 2020. And I don't know whether it is 2020 or it is already 2020 plus. No? Okay. What has happened is that customer has many choices. Okay, if I see over the years, from days of a couple of companies making a product, and that too, just 1 or 2 products and living with it. When economy is open, then people got a lot of choice, and industries and companies to remain afloat and get success and growth give with many options. No? Okay, leading to a lot of customization. So first is customer has a lot of choice. Okay, which has made us to move very fast to keep in the game. Second is that earlier differentiators. There was a time when we used to look at big names in industry around the world, global and India. And those were the players with a lot of money. So money power, scale, their location, so close to market, and technology. Okay, so it was closed door and all those things. All these differentiators slowly are losing ground, and the world, at least products and even services are becoming very uniform. No? We can talk about company to company, and I will not take name, but I know that one of the platform of when I was in GM, like Opel Astra. Okay, so Opel Astra to Daewoo's one car and all those things. There were 3-4 cars with only skin difference, inside everything same. No, and there are many such examples today. No, the same engine being shared with 3 or 4 companies with the product. So skin is different, inside things are becoming more realistic. So I'm just saying that technology and is becoming uniform, and products are becoming this thing. So what is differentiator? Differentiators are becoming speed. Okay, fast to market, reaction in case things change, agility when customer change their thoughts overnight. When you come with a product or service, you're not sure whether it will work or no. It may work so much that the experience of XUV 7.0, where we got in 2 hours 50,000 bookings done. No, Okay, and it can be sometimes very other, for us or for anybody else. So, I mean, your planning becomes very, very difficult, and then you have to have huge flexibility in planning. Perfection becoming a reality. You can't say that one out of 100 things which I offered you has gone wrong, so I am 99% right. Question is that 1% wrong for a customer is 100% wrong for that customer, and with social media and these things, one outlier can really create a mess for you. So this is change. This game is huge different than which I have played to some extent, I can say, Aditya, because we worked very long together. I mean, where we with one product, we took 3-4 years to bring it, and then we will improvise it, make it more correct in next 2-3 years, and then we will live with this product for next 3-4-5 years. I don't know whether the industry itself, the company where you're working, will last in the same way for 7 or 10 or 9 years. So the change is speed, okay, and change is agility, and change is how do we deliver fast. No, I think these are the things. And one more change which I have seen is that again, if I take example of cricket, I mean, 5-day matches we used to play for draw. No, for very first day we used to say that play so safely that the the last answer can be draw. It should not become a lose. No, I mean, that I remember my young days. But today, I mean, either you win or you lose. There is no way in between. No, so either in industry, because products are similar, but customer is so much knowledgeable. Either they put hand on you or they just take on the hand. So it is either 100% successful or this thing. So you can't play for draws. You can't play that I will keep on doing what I'm doing, and still I will be in the game and I will keep on making my. It's not. There is no like nothing like FD today. No, that I will keep on getting 5% this thing. No. So it's more like playing a ticket marketing, and you have to play for it. I have not watched this new movie of '83, no, but I still remember when Kapil was asked this question when the guy reached there at the age of 24, and why you have come here? So he said, we have come to win. So if you have to play, you have to win. I mean, there is no, you can't play for draw, you can't play for consistent outcomes or something. So today's game is play to win, okay? Play, change fast. Even if you have to take, if something is not working, take fast U-turns, okay? Play with, continuously improve, have answers which still keep your customers engaged, okay? You don't know from where something new will come and will just dislodge you. So how fast you can recover. Your marketing intelligence to understand what's going around in the world. And learn around the world, because a lot of things, new answers are coming in the world, no? For products and for answers to those products. And companies like Emplo and all those things can help you what the world is doing and how you can do differently. So I'm just saying that you have to have a different game today. Yeah. And the last thing which I will say that today things like governance, safety, sustainability, all these things are becoming more and more important and more critical for damage control and for remaining in the business, which was not that much earlier. So I will leave this here, Vikas. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the insight. Because differentiator now you're saying is not a scale or a location, which you earlier used to have for the MNCs and all. Now it is mainly the speed, the flexibility, and the perfection which customer is looking for. And one liner from your side, play to win. It reminds me the character of Harvey Specter in Suits. He plays for the win. I think exactly this is what you're saying. We have to play to win, and not just to pass the thing or maybe clear the thing or maybe a draw, which is the right example. We are not here for the draw. We are here only for the win. And there is no scope of losing. Obviously, everybody has to win together, because sustainability, in the era of sustainability, everybody has to win together. So Aditya sir, I was thinking like, as you have experience in both Indian and other foreign MNCs, and you have worked in greenfield projects. And recently, you put up a Bhopal project. What is your experience, and what kind of challenges which you faced at that point of time to put up this, with respect to maybe you would have done in the 90s, and also I understand in General Motors. And how do you see that? What was so different? What is so different now as compared to the that?
Thanks, Vikas. I think you asked two questions, one to my boss, Mr. Kalra, and second to me, and both are connected questions actually. You talk about the, one first question was related to past 15, 20 years, especially past 10 years, where Kalra sir has given this perspective, and that significant change has happened since then. And now you are asking me about how we have set up the Bhopal plant and what the change has happened. So I think we have plants which are quite old right now, about 30, 35 years old plant, which is the mother plant for us. And on the other hand, we had this opportunity of setting up a new plant in Bhopal. So of course, the things have changed totally. One is that when we talk about sustainability, and a couple of our friends today, they have spoken about sustainability. This is a non-negotiator right now. You cannot. It's like a mandate. You have to follow certain compliances, certain governance, certain policies without any question. Like example, the implementation of BS6 vehicles. We cannot run the BS4 vehicle on the Indian road. So it's like a compliances are there. So, but on the other hand, what Kalra sir has said just now, like the expectation from the market has totally changed, in terms of the quality, in terms of the delivery commitments, or we call it sometimes OTIF, on time in full, or delivery precision. And of course, the changing model, frequently. So keeping that in, these things in mind, that compliances, and, these things, when we started setting up the Bhopal plant, we put customer at center, and not for today, at least for next 10 to 15 years. If we keep the
Yeah, Aditya, you're going to mute.
You're on mute.
You accidentally probably have to.
How are you doing? Yeah, Aditya, you are on mute.
अभी फ्री हो 10 मिनट 15 मिनट के लिए आ जा
Others to go on mute. I think that's.
Yeah. Okay.
Aditya, you're on mute.
no, sir. I think can you hear me, sir? Now?
Yeah, you're back. You're back.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know what how much I've lost in my conversation, but I was sharing that what Kalra sir has said, just now, like the expectation from the market has changed. So when we set up the Bhopal plant, we kept customer at center. Of course, the start point was the capacity, but again, keeping customer in mind for next 10 years, quality was the number one priority. That this plant has to produce the world-class quality, which is comparable to today. We have partnership with Volvo. So it's like a Volvo quality, like or you can compare with any Japanese product, Secondly, the delivery commitment has to be 100%, which is like 100% OT. It means our planning and production planning has to be world class. And the third one is that the cost factor, it has to be a really productive plant and much lesser using, so lesser cost per vehicle. So keeping all those objectives and set up this plant has then naturally for doing all those things, you can't go with the traditional methods. You have to apply the technology. You have to use the intelligence, like or apply the IoT solutions there. So when we set up this plant, we had a lot of innovations in this plant, and perhaps I would like to invite some of you to visit this plant because it has got quite unique features. But today I can say that in this greenfield plant, of course, it is lean, it is a green certified, it is IoT compliant right now, but it has got many unique features. And today vehicles we are producing there, you can compare those vehicles with the Volvo quality, and cost is about 15 to 20% lesser than what we produce in the greenfield plant here. There were many challenges here because the telling people, including our vendors, our partners, to build this kind of facility. For example, we have no warehouse there, zero warehouse concept. Everything is coming from outside vendor and just in kits, and there's zero warehouse, zero manpower in the plant for producing vehicles. So it's a unique concept. Even I have not done in my career so far. Even our Volvo partners, they were, when we discussed with them, they were also wondering that how we can do that, but we have done that here. So there are many unique concepts we have done that, and the result is that it's a green manufacturing facility, green certified. It is of course the what we call it lean production system. Somebody says Toyota production system. We call it Volvo production system compliant. Then it is also the low cost for us right now. It is IoT compliant, and we have put all these MEX or solutions there. So the point is that when we set up a new plant, we have to ensure that we are following all the compliances, all the environmental things proactively. At the same time, using the technology which is available for making good quality vehicle, or shortening the lead times, or supply chain efficiency, or de-skilling the people in the shop floor through automated tools or MES system. We have put everything in place. So that is how this plant has come up, and it's really a good plant today. And now our next challenge is that how we transform the remaining plants of our in our Eicher, VECV old plants, convert them to the same level of benchmark level. Thanks, Vijay. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So basically, you have come out of one challenge of putting up a plant. Now you are entering into another challenge of upgrading the existing 35-year plant. So that is going to be quite interesting. So Kala sir, there are no new levers which are available for technology advancement, as we are now seeing the Amplo Global also one of the levers. And please share your views how these can be leveraged to meet the business objective. Actually, end of the day, in our business scenario, as Rajesh Uppalji also said that we have to take about the business overall, maybe overall sustainability out of that only for the business. So focusing on a business objective, what are the new levers which are available, how important these are, and how we should look at it as being part of the industry, not as some other entity, part of the business.
Yeah, so because I think we spoke about that we have to play to win, and all these discussions around Atmanirbhar Bharat and all those things, these are more of dreams or wishes. Only way they can come true is that we become competitive internationally, okay, so that we can serve our customer with product and services which are which the customer is ready to pay price for it, and those are those services and products meet the requirement of society, okay, and other regulations based on that. So if we have that, and not only that, we keep that edge. So if you ask me that last 10 years what I have done, okay, I have not, I mean, I'm a typical operations guy, but I think I was sharing with Vivek, last role of 9 years as head of manufacturing or chief of operations in Mahindra, I have never had a production meeting, okay, because I think that's not something which worries me. What worries me is keeping pace with the world, knowing what's happening around the world, and bringing those thoughts and ideas at the earlier stage so that we don't lose the game. Okay, we pilot it, try it, and if something works for us, amplify it or scale it up. And if it doesn't, we'll leave it. So it's not necessarily we have to. So if you have to play for win, you can't really. It is not. You can't say your army, Indian army, to go and fight the world without having the right arsenal. Without Rafale, they can't. You have to go for Rafale when we this thing. The same way, you have to use current best practices, and you have to use the current tools, whether they are in physical form or they are in knowledge form, or what we talked about, some models, and use them to be successful. I remember we still talk about Milkha Singh, that the guy never had shoes, and in the beginning was running without even the spike shoes or something, but that's history. But today, if we have to win the game, we need that, no? Or maybe if at that time we had, I mean, he had that, so we never had to talk about that why India got first gold medal after so many years. Maybe we would have got early. So the answer is that we have to use this. Now, there are certain things which are available with this today. I mean, so to make a customer happy and meaningful, no, for with product, first most important thing is consistency, no. Okay. Now, how do you get consistency if I refrain from using some of the tools which my competitor is using? So typical cases like robotics. Let's take example of robotics. No, I de-skill the entire thing, give it to robot. I mean, I will take example of a paint shop. Okay. Aditya talked about a new, I mean, capacity which we have created in Bhopal, the most modern and all those things. I will talk about something similar in Chakan. Okay. The paint shop which we have built is still maybe is 1 month away from final commissioning. When we decided our ambition, we said that it should be able to give me consistency and the paint gloss best in Indian industry, far ahead from what is available in the world today. Okay, because that will help me for next 10 years. My productivity should be 100% up. My energy efficiency should be 35% up, and all those things. No, so we defined this, and then we built around a solution around that. One of the main problem which normally we have is we try to make something as a product or service which we are capable of. Okay, my feeling is it has to be outside in. Okay, we have to just see what customer wants and then try to work around. If we are able to work around and do it, it's fine. Otherwise, leave it now. Okay, because then it doesn't make sense. No, do it. So same way. So we build that this thing. I mean, it has to be sustainable. It has to be all those things. And today it gives us as so. One is that we have to have robotics. We have to have the right processes. So what we are doing today for getting quality, we are using technology in a big way. Okay, like to get answers that my engine will give the right answers. Okay, I have IoT solution with 84 checks. I mean, we talk about Pokayoke. When the engine is built, and when it is built, I know that there is no way it can go wrong. Okay, and if something is going wrong, it will be checked and corrected in between, or the whole thing will stop. Okay, so typical, I think many people maybe from auto industry, an engine we used to rotate crankshaft and see whether it's this thing. But now you have, I mean, moved from senses, a feel to analog to now digital numbers. No, numbers give you huge assurance. Okay, when we go to a doctor, by touching our head, the guy can see you have a fever or no. But when you have digital answer that what exactly it is, okay, then you know the trend. So we have the shop is equipped to have those trends. We have visual cameras to do, I mean, define between good and bad. I mean, I have 36 type of engines now. Okay, so you have those things fed in the system. Okay, and when it crosses, it checks with the requirement and says that it is the right thing or no. You have to work on flexibility in a big way. Okay, so all assembly lines, all paint shop, which is happening not from today, from very long time, but I can build of any color with the same robot, the next one. So one can be yellow, next can be red, third can be blue, fourth can be this, which reduces my inventory and flexibility to change myself. Okay, to get more productivity on, I mean, the whole supply chain is connected and visible. Okay, from when the supplier picks up raw material till and it is to dealer, everything is there. No, okay, many things machines can define change. You know, and we don't have to computers and machine can design. We have machines which are connected, which are monitoring their I mean, something like ICU, you know, they monitor their temperature, vibration, and everything. So as soon as something crosses, okay, the machine doesn't allow to make a product which will not come out of it. If my machine has chattering, my outcomes will not be good. My surface finish will not be good. No, okay. If it is going, temperature is going out, one day it will fail. No, so they will this thing. I moved from regular repairs and planning of corrections to condition based now, because we have data which gives it. A lot of predictability has come. Okay, we are using various platforms, virtual platforms for training. So today we don't spend money in welding rods and the material and all those things to somebody to train for welding. No, I mean, it's all virtual platforms. So many of the trainings on sealer, painting, welding, everything has gone there. Okay. So I'm just saying that there are many things. So one big example is the resource management now. Even if one drop of water, every drop of energy is monitored and measured. No, at which point how much is going any given time. It is on your laptop and your phone. No, anything which crosses norm, you get that alarm. No, anything which does very well, you get an alarm that what is so different today that it should not happen every day. So whole thing. And then project management. So all project managements with this technology, your predictability. You can't end up after 5 years and say that I moved on this path and I reached where my destination was something different. So are they on the directionally right? Are they doing the right thing in quantity? Okay, to reach there. So all these things, I mean, I can take name of various enablers and all those things, but I'm just saying that all this is possible today in a big way. Okay, what we need is that we need to have that basically a ambition to be a leader. Okay, and then look at answers. Start in a small way, and then this thing, and then work on ecosystem. Main is all these. I mean, you can have the best tools, but the user is finally a person. Okay, so that employees, for me, transformation is not from moving from one destination to second destination. For me, transformation of industry will be that the industry learns, the company learns how to really see change coming, okay, and how to continuously evolve themselves. That becomes a habit. That becomes a way of doing things. So because I will leave here, sorry. It's already too long. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, it reminds me, like we just put up this bus plant around in 2012, and we were the first one in industry to think of doing the robotics of the bus. Everybody said nobody does it. Why you want to do it? And but we were thinking, because we were from automobile industry, cars and trucks. So we were thinking that manpower availability or skilled labor of the painters is going to be an issue for 3-shift basis and all. Finally, we could take a call, and we are the only plant in India with the robotic painting. I think the right example. I think similar, you have given another suggestion, like the training of welders. If it is done on a virtual platform, they'll get trained much better as compared to what we are doing on making some products and then filling the products later on. So I think both are things very much essential for us, people like me who are in operations are taking care. I think other operations guy also will take this point. And from this learning, they will implement this. So from coming to overall, from this to coming to a very specific point, AK sir, I would like to see that how do you see the sustainability as a mainstream business objective as compared to what we are talking only on our top line and bottom line and only profitability. So over to you, sir.
Yeah, I think in my view, the sustainability, because was not being discussed or talked, in such a frequency, the way we are talking right now these days, every forum, everything. We used to hear a lot about sustainability in Indian context. I'm talking about industry perspective. Even today, the tier 2 or tier 3 industries are not talking too much on this, But yes, there's a good discussion going around on this sustainability thing and ESG. Of course, this conference is also on the transformation of the industry and using sustainable way for a long time. And as I mentioned, in my earlier this thing that that it's sooner is better actually. We are learning hard ways. Example, the BS6 implementation was happening in India. Supreme Court said that you have to. There's no extension will be given to the auto industry for releasing, for launching the BS6 vehicle once even auto industry approached the Supreme Court. It means that it's a mandate. It's a it's a regulation, it's a legislation right now. You cannot make a BS4 vehicle and run on the Indian roads. So like that, sooner is better for us. So there are compliance issues are there. And it is better for all of us in industry to understand that whether we like it or don't like it, it is going to happen here. If it is going to happen like this, and what we read through various media, social media news about the environmental impact and green gas effects and all those things, it is going to be tougher day by day for all of us here. So sustainability brings kind of us the knowledge about the people, the planet, and also everybody knows about triple P: people, planet, and process. People, planet, and profit. But at the same time, I also think about not only the people, planet, and profit. It's also about the product, process, and people. What product we make and what process we follow here in the plant, and how it's impacting our people here. And of course, at the core of this thing remains the customer here, because ultimately, as Kalla Sahab has said, whatever we do through our products, whatever we do through our processes, and whatever we do through our people, it has to be customer oriented, which is looking for best quality product. I mean, today sitting in India doesn't mean like I have to produce lesser quality vehicle. Today we can compete with any Japanese product or European products, and that's what many Indian companies are demonstrating today. So that's what our aim is. And of course, then delivery commitment, as I mentioned earlier, also delivery commitment has to be on on real time, because our commitment has been always not so good. Here we talk about 100% in committed time. And Kalla Sahab also touched about the development time, or 20 matches, maybe in future there will be 10 hours matches also will be, I don't know. But shorter lead time through virtual validation, virtual testing, and rapid prototyping, things like that, so that customer gets on fast access. Lead time is important here. And of course, then there are many other things are associated with this. So in order to achieve these things, unless we use the technology, and sometime our friend from employees, they have mentioned about the doing analytics, or analytics based solutions, and forecasting. We cannot change things here. We have to see the future next 10 years down the line. So using the technology, artificial intelligence, or you can say analytics, simulation, we have to predict the future. But one thing is very clear, that we cannot be out of the thing. It's a mainstream thing right now. Sustainability is going to be main theme, ESG, what we call it. And I'm happy to say that our parent company like Eicher Motors, they have been rated in the Dow Jones Sustainability Index as a global 8th number, in terms of in the developing market. And a lot of commitment is coming from the leadership. Before I conclude my comment on that, there are two things. One, there are certain enablers are there for any company to make it happen. Like in Eicher, if I talk about our VECV, certain enablers are there, which are like, our mandate from the management and the commitment from the management side. And secondly, our company's partners, Volvo Group as well as Eicher, we have a lot of good best practices to learn from them. But there are challenges also, of course, which are difficult right now. And I was sharing with Vivek also earlier that engaging an entire value chain, our tier 2, tier 3 vendors, including, back end and front end, then only we can say we are a sustainable organization. Changing the mindset of the people across the organization. As I mentioned, like Bhopal plant is a new plant. There is a new set of people, a new location, new facility, new machines and equipment. But the older plants have got different challenges right now, where the change has to happen from everything, right from processes to mindset. And last thing is that very difficult to sometimes tell people ask question, what is there for me if I do in sustainable? It's a cost to the company. So how to address these things in entire value chain, that we have to see. But the kind of enablers we have, I think we'll be able to address these things in future for all our other facilities and plants.
Thank you, Hitesh, sir. I think it is in line with Professor Chandan, as he said, that it is not only for the Indian, even for your foreign customer also, there's going to be impact, and we have to be ready for the sustainability and transformation. And as you said, that not only your Indian partner, but also your global partner, both are looking for the transformation in sustainability. I think that is well said. Kalla sir, I am going to touch a very sensitive point, which is not openly talked about. So I would like to ask a very sensitive point here, that sustainability is loosely considered as an expense. And please enlighten the team with your views on sustainability as essential part of business success in long term. Because we see only 1 year, 3 year business plan, and to fit in that sustainability becomes difficult for people like me in operations and maybe many more.
Yeah, so because I think that's a trouble people from operations find to move things. Know that when we start looking at business outcome and very short-term business outcomes for everything, then sometimes those approvals don't come and we don't move that path. And many times it is just a myth with us, and that we don't try to break it, or we don't want to get into it, or we don't get into it. No. So, when I talk about Mahindra, I think there is a lot of value is given to ESG, as I said. And today morning we had, our corporate leadership team, we are 9 of us, and including MD, and we were discussing in morning. We have a Monday meeting 9 to 9:45. Believe me, Vivek, 30 minutes discussion was on 3 things: sustainability, safety, and women empowerment. Okay, 15 minutes was on business, no, because the rest was this thing. So, and that's a regular thing which is happening. Now, when you look at business at a longer scale, okay, so I feel sustainability one way is for the right cause. Okay, I think sometimes it is very difficult to justify individually how it helps, but to a person like me who has a grandson of 4 years, I'm sure that the guy will see the pluses and negatives if we don't do the right things today. So I have a personal interest also, and many of us should have personal interest if we start looking at even ourselves. But look at organization or something. I will confine sustainability to resources and planet. Okay, not sustainable business and all those things. I'll not confuse business. And when we look at it, I think it's mainly working around energy, working around water, and working around waste and those things going out of those things which are waste going out of plant for landfills or something. Okay, so let me divide into this, and maybe to some extent biodiversity. First comes to energy. Okay, so answer to your question. Okay, we would have done. We have some 18 plants within our organization, which is within India, which is auto and tractors, and some more in defense and all those things. Total something like 30 plants in India. We would have done some 700-800 projects on energy efficiency. Okay, we went from LED to from normal fluorescent bulbs to LED some 3 or 4 years back. Actually, we were first in India to do it at group level. And believe me, I started in a very, very small way, okay, with some 200 bulbs or something, and monitored it for 9 months. Okay, we saw a payback period of 11 months with much more illumination and much better answers. We went for motors in the company. 70% of power consumption in companies, most of companies, 60, 70, 80, depends on which type of industry you are, is through some motors. Okay, especially in your shops, machine shops and paint shops and assembly shops and all. Every time that motor goes for rewinding, 1% efficiency is lost, and then these are old motors where efficiency installed was. Okay, you buy them today, go for a change, and you get 15 to 20% savings. In 1.5 years, that motor is yours, and then you keep on saving whole life. ACs, that conventional to today's 5-star, give you 15, 20%, 30% reduction, less repairs and all those things. Okay, so there are, you keep on listing. We went for tri-generation, which is using gas turbine for not only heating, for energy generation, heating and cooling, all three. Energy thermal efficiency has gone from 35% to 85%. Okay, We went for LNG in place of LPG, okay, which is cleaner. And we have a dual system now. I can move to LPG to LNG in 1 hour or half an hour, depending on location. The price fluctuates so much, okay, that it gives me whatever installment cost was, I mean, whatever cost I put for installment, in 1 year, the same return now. So all these reasons, I mean, I can tell you that I will not put the number, it may not look odd, but whatever we have spent in last 6 years, okay, outcome is already 5 times of that, okay. And in our, my previous MD once said that we have never made in anything in any business more than this, okay. So this is what reality is, okay. Then waste management, okay. This is a story. Actually, one day our Anand saw a news somewhere that GM is going for near waste to landfill, okay. And then the message came to know that can we look at it, and we said that we will take out the word near, okay. We will say 0, okay. Today all our 17 plants are there, and we save huge money out of it. I mean, can you believe that the paint sludge coming out of our paint shop, it is going to two of cement companies which they use that fuel, okay. Okay. So there are many such examples that something comes from us and is going somewhere for some purpose. I mean, so these are examples of this. And then, as I said, that we are using technology in a big way for this. So everything is measured, okay, which helps. Now, water is an area where normally we see very short term and say this thing, but the reality is, okay, water is going to become very costly a couple of years down the line. And even if cost is one thing, availability itself will become a problem. So I remember 3-4 years back when Bombay, we had this IPL match, which was cancelled. And we were debating that we have plants in Maharashtra, Igatpuri, Nasik, Kandivali, Nagpur. And tomorrow, if this happens here, what will happen? I mean, it has happened in Saurashtra. Most of the beer plants were stopped, no? So tomorrow, if we don't have water, so we started looking at water conservation, no, in a big way. And today, one of my location, 230 days a year, okay, it doesn't need any water, okay, the water we conserve in this thing. So I'm just saying that it may not be an immediate answer, okay, but it gives you a chance to, and then can I grow at some location without water being there? Okay. So all the possibility of growing will go down. Okay. Even if I look at, I mean, like Aisha, okay, you have big stakes in Indore. Okay. And if we don't take care of water, tomorrow, if that becomes a problem, okay, your location gets into problem. So it is not only what you save, okay, or what you get in returns, okay. It gives you business longevity. It gives you confidence. It takes you high in eyes of customers and the people around you. This thing, it takes you high in eyes of your own employees who value these things. So this is how I look at sustainability, and we believe that it gives you very high returns, short term and then some long term, okay. And it makes your business sustainable and long term. I can't be worried about every day in water sitting as a plant manager or operations head. No, that if I don't have, what happen? Okay, just think of this all discussions around chips industry coming to India. Okay, it's a water. I mean, water requirement is very high. Okay, so whosoever comes will have to find answers that how do you conserve it and how do you create this. Okay, and we live in a country where we all know that 1 hour of solar energy is enough to run the entire world for a year. And we know that we get 4 to 5 times of water rainfall in the country. It's all about organizing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for the point. Actually, now I think team will get enabled, and maybe with the more force, we'll be able to go to CFO to for the sustainability point of view. And I'm happy to share here, sir, from the water point of view. Our bus plant is 200% water positive because the water is scarce in a particular area. So our leadership took a call, okay, let us be water positive, and we are. Even before this sustainability thing started coming up, we had done it. So similarly, I think we'll do in other plants also, like Bhopal and others also. So coming to
That's
sir,
great.
another next question again to you, sir. Uh, Actually, we touched upon only the plant and all. We talked about only.
Ross, you will like to check on timing, I think.
Sir, the last one only. It is very
Yeah, please
important
go
from
ahead. I think because these are really good points. And these are feeders to the theme 3 as well, right? So I'm sure Mala and Dr. Tyagi are hearing this. But yeah, please continue. And of course, I'll get the interventional leaders like Krishna Bhojkar and other people to also talk about it. Please go ahead.
Okay, coming to, so this is the last one actually from my side, but I would like to, we are talking about the plants and only, but the role of the suppliers in improving the ecosystem and role of leadership in driving this as a finally the responsibility, because the finally responsibility lies with the leaders, the major plant leaders and OEM. So how do you see that the role of the suppliers in improving the ecosystem, what they should do and we should do for them?
This question is to whom?
To you, sir. I skipped AKS, Aditya Srivastava. Skipped.
Thank you. I thought it's Aditya's number. No, okay. I remember reading somewhere, and this is from Dr. Teoda, that if we don't really work on ecosystem, then we can't be great in isolation. Okay. And one of the things which we are talking in India, again, if I take that our dream of Atmanirbhar, which is a very, very light target to take, no? It works around that, no? So I mean, if we look at the pre-Honda days when Honda decided to outsource most of the component manufacturing, and they say that we will just assemble things, or we will do only high value added job, which we may find it difficult to do, and let it be outsourced. Okay. And all these things, no? So actually the whole value chain, okay, from raw material purchase, I will not feel that we got into raw material companies as well, but raw material purchase till the product is delivered, okay, is actually one value chain. Okay. We decided to do some things ourselves, okay, and give it to somebody else to do something else. Okay. And when you do this, okay, when you outsource things, the responsibility never gets outsourced. Okay. Only authority and work gets outsourced. So first, if my value chain is not strong, it will not work. Okay. So I think whatever we decide, whether it is in terms of for productivity or flexibility or lean and quality and sustainability or any other practice, no, including women empowerment and all those things. I think all these things we should be sharing with upstream and downstream, our dealers and backend with our suppliers, and give them a chance to look at value of them. Sometimes it may be possible to consolidate knowledge, no? Okay. If they have to get a knowledge partner like Empovita, maybe it's not possible individually for them to come, but we can play a game of getting together and helping them to the concept of clusters, no? Okay. You get a knowledge partner with 5 this thing. We have all the reasons to give this thing. No, I was talking to one of our locations, and I was just telling that suppliers around may not be today that great, especially conventional suppliers. I mean, system suppliers are those who know more than us, no? So I don't have to worry, but conventional suppliers, no, who are still with the, simple lathe machines and sheet metal things and all those things. If we give them a chance to look at what we are doing, no, okay, and this thing, they will become strong. And if they are strong, then we are strong. Okay, in supply chain, I believe that normally tracking is done through that, like even in new product development. I don't know what's the system in most of the companies which are sitting. But when you look at it, you say that this product I have to develop in 3 years. And if I have, say, 1,000 parts to be developed, okay, I have done in 2 years 90% of them, so I'm in a good shape. No, I think that's not the best thing, because even one failure is enough to make it zero. No? Okay. So whatever you have achieved into one part not developed is zero. Okay. So I will like people to review the other way. Which are those 5 or 6 or 7 things, okay, where we are not confident, which we are not happened, no? Okay. If it is something new, okay, then that it has a lot of risk, no? And there maybe I have to go parallelly in 2 or 3 things. So I'm just saying that, and that's where you have to work with suppliers. No, hear them, especially system suppliers. They know much more than us, so we don't have to duplicate everything. If they already have an answer, proven answer, we don't have to create something new. No. So the word collaboration is becoming important. It is not within organization, with our suppliers and this thing, and show them all these things. I will love our suppliers. Actually, we have given even to competitors. We said anytime you can come and take a round of our factories and this thing to see what we are doing. Yes, we will love that if you allow the same thing to us also. But even if you don't allow, come and see, because you can pick some of the ideas, no, but you can't pick the culture if it is a competitor. Yeah, and it's all about culture, no. So pick those ideas, and suppliers we will love to share with them. I gave an example of LED. To be very frank, we have almost out of some 600 suppliers now today 450 who have gone to 100% LED with our help. No, we were always with them. We showed them. We showed the results. No, see, when you come and say that this is what I have done, this is my investment, this is my return, this is this. No, even tomorrow if they have to go to banks, no, these things help them. No, okay. So we can them share with them openly. Okay, because if we don't share openly, uh, I mean, कमल जो है वो पॉलिटिकल लाइफ में तो हो सकता है खिल जाए, लेकिन वो जो अदरवाइज आसपास यदि हमारे कीचड़ है तो कमल नहीं हो सकता. इकोसिस्टम हैज टू बी गुड, नो, to be successful. Okay. I mean, if I have to do the same business in whatever time, I mean, we all spend in our daily work with this thing, whether because you or Aditya or me or many others here, maybe Rajesh ji and all those things. I think 70% of this, if I'm doing business in maybe a developed country like Korea or Japan, I may not be doing that. No, I don't have to manage those things. Okay. We talk about supply chain and we say that we have somebody for supply chain. Okay. First is we take engineers for supply chain. Okay. Then we have some guy, SQA guy for supply to get the supplies. When I tell my wife to go and fetch vegetable, we don't send 2 persons, one to fetch vegetable, other one to see that the quality is good. Okay. But here we do this, no? And why the other guy you should give us something wrong, no? The supplier knows the best about the product he is giving, he or she is giving. Okay. Why the guy should give us wrong, no? Okay. So this all is waste. We count waste and delays and those 7 waste and all those things. For me, this is waste, no? First is that the guy who is giving us something wrong, which he or she is supposed to know much more than me. Okay. Then we have one guy saying that I will make sure that you get the part. Other guy will ensure that no, it is stopped because it is not a part. All 3 can be done by one person. No. So I think we have to see suppliers especially. Okay. And even dealers. No. When this dealer is complaining about something, we are worried about making sure that we convince that it is not a warranty issue. Okay. It's not that. I mean, if the guy is saying something is wrong, no. I mean, that's a guy which gives you a maximum insights. No? So if we have insights from both of them, if we make them real partners, okay, we grow them with them. No, I love Maruti. When I saw and earlier Toyota, when that every year we will work with all the suppliers and look for 3% cost reduction. Okay, it gives a chance to share the advantage of that. But if nothing else, it gives you a chance to grow your. Okay, make you competitive. No, I am more worried about not about those 1,000 vehicles which I am selling and what is going to happen to that or unka profit. I am equally worried about those 10,000 which I could have sold more if I would have done good in quality and good in cost and good in other things and delivery. No, that's a bigger pie to play. No,
Absolutely.
okay, and all these things, whatever we are talking. okay, is transformation. I mean, that we have to think differently now. Why one of us may not have become GM today? Okay. Why we are not Tesla today? I mean, I think we are not really moving very fast. And I learned when Vineet used that for 4 quarters, no, and the last one, no, uh, innovation world, no. I think we have to see, first is we have to think big, okay, have very high aspirations, put that number, okay, and all this will flow. Answers will flow, innovations will flow. We will struggle to find answers, but we will learn how to have it. Thank you.
Thank you,
Perfect.
sir. The good point which I missed, sir, which was the actually the dealers. So I think both the supplier and dealer are part of our supply chain. We have to, what I understood, we should be discussing with them what the major changes, transformation we are doing, so that they become partner with us and they pick up the things. And also your idea of making a cluster of the suppliers, then assessing the knowledge or maybe the some technology which can be shared together at a lesser cost. I think both the things are very good, sir. I think it is maybe the for me, I think this is a great learning, and I would like to now ask Aditya sir to summarize and share the final words.
I think I cannot add what Mr. Kala said because he has already given all the perspective here. Only I think when I was discussing with Vivek and also Kala sir, when we were discussing a couple of days back, you said we can still calculate the what is the cost for implementing these things, or what is the cost for this thing. But the most difficult, am I audible by the way?
You are.
Yeah, but the most difficult part is that cost of not doing these things cannot be calculated. It's immense. Whether we like it or don't like it, if we don't comply, don't follow, don't do it right now, even we are not able to understand the consequences and the cost to the organization. So sooner is better from my perspective, and we are learning right now and moving the right direction, I hope.
Thank you, Aditya sir.
I will take, because I will take 1 minute. I think Aditya raised a good point. Yes, that's a problem when we look at cost of quality, cost of various things. No, what we see is that how much we have sold and how much we lost, or how much we could have done better if with the same numbers. But we don't really look at the opportunity lost, which can be 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times. We don't know that now. Okay, and I mean, cost of not moving with the current pace and not changing with the new ways of working very clearly will limit our ability to continue. Okay, it's a matter of time. Okay.
Yes,
especially with supplier community and all those things, there will be no way tomorrow you will be able to communicate now. Okay, when you talk to a supplier and use the word APQP, the guy understand. But if we are not changing with the current world, we will not understand. So my feeling is that if more than how much we get out of it, okay, if we don't do these things, the chance that we will perish, okay, is very, very high. I mean, yesterday I heard about, we do not take examples around the world and talk about big names, no. Okay, I mean, we will talk about Kodak and we have big names. Look at in our environment and look at one of the cycle manufacturers, okay, which stopped work a year back, no. Okay, which was leader, no. Okay. And when you go inside, you will find the same thing. They were finding difficult to change with time. Okay, so I mean, I don't feel that our CFOs and CEOs should look at business results. And my request to all of you will be there, especially operations go. Don't go and tell them 30% better ho jayega, 40% better ho jayega. This is all this thing. We may not be, but go and tell them very clearly. If I don't do that, no. If I can't have a right robotics and the right answers for doing a paint, if my car doesn't look at the same gloss as anybody else, even the panelists we have and participants here, nobody will go and bite the bullet. No, nobody will buy my car. So my existence depends on this. There is no way that I can live without this. even you will not have employees working for you. You will never get the right talent around the world when you go and buy and hire and say that I want to work the way 30 years back I was working. They will not love to be there with you. Even if they come, they will be very worried about their future. So I mean, I don't feel we should be looking at this as how much advantage it will give me. My feeling is that you will not even survive now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely, Vijay. This is intriguing. In fact, couple of last comments that I will make is, and the thought around shifting from a product to a solutions organization, as well as the thought around changing ourselves from a cost to a profit center. I mean, this cannot be the better time than now. It's fantastic, a fantastic discussion actually.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you.
I think this is a failure to all of us. We are looking at, and I think you really described those 4 quadrants. I'm glad I'll bring it. I was updating those 4 quadrants as you all are speaking, and thanks because I know you're the person who have been in TEFE, you have been the person who have been in Ford tractors, and you brought the manufacturing of buses from 12-seater to 72-seater, right? Across and 30% exports. I can imagine how those best practices are flowing to Vijay's point, and of course Mahindra setting an example there, how things are going into the, we are actually seeing the circular economy happening, right? In a way, everything kind of tying together in the transformation world, and sustainability being a part of transformation now, right, into the 4 quadrants. So what I will do is, I really want to hear also with Vishwas, who has been in Volvo Eicher, and I think our introduction, he has been 27 years in automobile industry, and his core competency around automotive industry machinery and utilities, and also project planning and management, and he has been driving sustainability initiatives, right, towards energy management and green initiatives. So Vishwas, before I go to Krishna Bojkar from the Volkswagen's perspective, which is another dimension of the industry, you can throw some light how you are seeing sustainability as a new chapter there.
So our journey started with only the cost saving initiatives, what we call earlier, way back in 2014. But rightly said by Vikas Kalra sir, existence depends upon the sustainability. So now, can I share a simple slide on the sustainability journey through which we have gone?
Yeah, sure, quickly, and then I'll have Mr. Krishna Bojkar also adding to his comments. Yeah.
So is it visible, sir?
No, it has not come as it.
Okay, so I'm not able to share it. So let me tell you, the journey started with the cost saving initiative, what I told earlier, and gradually this journey has emerged out to the sustainability perspective. We have taken many initiatives, like at present we are 42%, we are taking 42% power from the renewable sources. We have done many, say, reduce, reuse and recycle. We made this as a theme for our cost saving journey earlier, but now it has become the sustainability journey. So we have reduced the consumption, electricity consumption, by various energy saving initiatives, like all our plants are with 100% LED lights. Then we have put VFD. Then we have reduced the consumption also by recycling the energy. Like we have waste heat recovery system for LNG. We are taking heat out from the stack and we are reusing it. We have heat pumps installed for our all washing machines. We have now started using compressor heat by recovering it for washing machines. So we have taken many initiatives in this journey, and now we have decided to work with the suppliers also to embark with us in the same journey, sir.
Great.
Thank you.
Great. I think Vishwas, nice points, and I know we have a standing meeting between us to kind of discuss that in more detail. knowing where you are today. And I think one of the things we were also talking was, as you, and to Vijay's point as well, so as you sketch your journey, right, it is very important to see and replicate the good things you have done, right? Create a baseline version, and also look forward what can be done better, right? And of course, in an interconnected and a collaborative way. So what I'll do is, let me quickly bring Mr. Krishna. I call him Krishna, Mr. Bhojkar. For his experience, he has spent 25 years in automotive industry. He has been chief of manufacturing within Volkswagen, which is it's a Pune-based plant. He has been in greenfield and brownfield implementation, leadership development, and also digitization and industry 4.0, right? So a lot of portfolios in his hand. So Krishna, I will in the meanwhile, I also share the 4 quadrants which was just brought in.
Yeah.
And at the back of it, you can just talk from your experience, how you have led it, and you have seen the change, and you have seen the journey in Volkswagen till you became a strategist and advisors with people like us.
Yeah. First of all, thank you, Vivek, to having organized this wonderful session. I think we got, again, myself also a lot of different insights. For sure, the automotive industry, as we call it, is one of the most innovative and technology intensive industries in the world. So a lot of technologies and a lot of processes, as well as a lot of equipments got involved or evolved over a period of time. So automotive has been driving a huge amount of innovation across all spectrums of the industry that we have seen, which we'll talk about. Maybe it is logistics, maybe it is actual hardcore manufacturing, maybe energy generation, maybe how the distribution happens to the customers, how the customers get involved, so on and so forth. So it gives a complete gamut of all things that are happening. Incidentally, like you have the product, which is about car or whatever automotive you're manufacturing, which takes about, for earlier life cycle, we used to look at from 5 to 15 years. So that was a huge amount of life cycle also. So a lot of ideas got evolved over a period of time. So what has been happening that a lot of knowledge base has been accumulated in the automotive industry, and with the understanding about industry 4.0, the industry 4.0 essentially was becoming as a toolkit. So people started looking into this toolkit as to what are the benefits that we can drive. Yeah, so this is the basic perspective that started coming in. The presentation that you are, or the sheet that you are seeing in front, is what I would really like to start going through. That the top leadership understanding, as well as the knowledge and the commitment, becomes most important thing, and that is one biggest driver that we need to see. This is where the setup of the innovation culture, or coming to the next level about getting people involved, driving the cultural change, keeping people into the focus, and getting more and more productive ideas, always challenging the status quo. So we go through this very simple thing called as a PDCA cycle. So always you do a plan, do check, and again act on that. So it is a ever changing and ever evolving industry, as well as a lot of things that you do are not going to remain constant. They are going to change. They are going to improve. There is nothing that we have seen it does not change. So as we, in a way, we jokingly say in automotive industry, the moment the design is done, it's already old. Yeah, and the person already starts working on a different design. That could be number one. And second is that the changes that we do in the product over a period of time also have been evolving very, very fast. The same thing did not happen as far as the manufacturing goes. So the product kept on changing very fast. However, the manufacturing facilities remain much more older, and they took more time to evolve around. But now we are seeing that big change is coming up. The status quo are being changed. A lot of digital technologies are becoming enablers for us to see through this whole pipeline. I'll give a very simple example of what we used to do earlier was a Gemba Kaizen. So you used to go to a station, try to observe a person, okay, note it down, maybe a couple of cycles, and then try to draw certain conclusions. But then you can imagine you have a live streaming of all the information that is happening in your plant. The complete or the most critical parameters or the most important stations, you can live stream and have all the data available to you. Can imagine what kind of improvements that you are in a better position to bring in. And the best thing that is happening is that the data or the storage systems are becoming cheaper. The other part which we find is that the sensors also are becoming cheaper, available, the connectivity is all pervasive, and these all things are helping us to go to the next level. Looking at this is not sufficient, but as I said, this approach towards what I think all the other panelists have already talked about, the management involvement and this drive to improve always. So this PDCA cycle is always has to be kept on moving. Hence, you need to keep on understanding what are the parameters or the key strategic KPIs that you want to drive. It could be cost, sustainability, anything that you think are most important to the industry. Those have to be brought up to the management level. They have to be driven every now and then. There have to be a lot of, let's say, drive to ensure the focus is brought from everybody in the factory. It's not sufficient, as what Mr. Kalra also said, that we need to look at the whole value chain. So I remember Volkswagen talking about right from mining, we will see till the car is really out of commission and we have to dismantle the car or we have to scrap it. So the whole value chain has to be really looked into. Even if you are scrapping a car, it means there is a big amount of damage or a lot of things that are likely to happen as the product is going to be having the end of the life cycle. So this whole gamut of things you are going to be responsible for. Slowly, if this understanding of this value system is not imbibed, I don't think that it's going to be really helping. Now, coming to the other specific are that certain areas which we have seen that the industries feel that the returns on the insights and the efficiency would need time, but then we need to look at the plants are about, let's say, when we build the plants, the factories are about the buildings, we talk about 15 years of the life cycle, or if there is bigger equipments, maybe 5 or 7 or 10 years of life cycle, based on how many seconds you're running it for. But these definitely will have a huge amount of payback. Maybe in the first year, you have to just start it off. So certain strategic decisions need to be taken and not wait, because the technology, as we have seen, ever evolving, and it will not wait. So if we don't catch up, definitely we'll be out of the game or the race. The other thing which we find is deliberating sufficiently on the strategy. So what exactly we want to do, which are the areas that we want to work, what are the quick wins, what are the long time initiatives that we need to run, how we are going to look into the KPIs, how we are going to have the review mechanisms put in place. These kind of things will be playing a huge amount of role in terms of ensuring that it's not only on the paper, but actually it gets actualized and realized. This is one area where we are finding that the initiatives are maybe just taken once and then things are just, not really recalibrated. You may need to change your strategy. You may need to change certain ideas that you have. So that's what innovation is all about. You need to look into different problems or newer problems and find solutions to them and change the strategy or change certain things if really the need be. So due diligence, this is another thing which we find it's again one thing which really need to be focused on. Finding out a very good partner. You need to partner with the right people to ensure that they help you in terms of understanding the technologies which you don't know and then develop upon and ensure that you're able to get the best insights from your own business itself. Then the last one point which was already discussed about was connecting the wide aged or from different supplier bases. There are over 35 or 40 years old equipments also in the plant. So how do you connect them? How do you bring those insights and ensure that all the relevant information, data are made visible? This also is possible and it has to be done. Insufficient domain expertise is another thing which could really hamper, and that is where a lot of focus need to be put, because there are areas which we have seen that many of the companies, they hive out a couple of, like say, the planning is hived off. So part of that. So you lose this domain expertise. You need to develop certain domain expertise to understand that these basic things, which really help in a long run, need to be kept in-house, and not only in-house, grown, as we said, to the supply. If you look at the whole ecosystem or the complete value chain, everywhere, if you are able to spread, then only vehicle manufacturing or a car can be really, we can call as a sustainable. Again, as I said, the major focus areas we need to at the moment bring is to the value chain, which has come right now, and bring the shop floor visibility. Because right now, yes, you find that the shop floors are, let's say, put on the screens, but what is the data? What is the actionable information that you are getting, and what exactly are you doing with it? This is one area which we find that could be really a challenging thing for most of the companies, except barring a couple of them for sure. But this is one of the big challenging areas. This is where the experts need to support and help these companies to really help in improving. Then involving the partners like, as I said, finance. So finance can give really fantastic amount of insights to the processes. I have seen the silo management really sometimes is not helping or supporting. So these were the quick areas which we just wanted to point out. Rest, I think the rest of the panelists have really done a wonderful job, and thank you for that. Over to you.
And fantastic, Krishna. I think you have summarized it so well, actually, and I think we are seeing the whole gamut of this whole manufacturing industry to be converged with all the parts of the transformation, and how we can get into the execution path, right? And as I said, this is very valuable. So unfortunately, Bhaskar, who has been the group CEO for automotive parts manufacturing company JBM Group, he had to leave. So what we will do, conscious of time, we have Deepu from a very different industry, insurance industry. He's a very good friend of mine. Hi, Deepu. And he is bringing he's bringing a perspective from insurance industry, right? And of course, we will touch the theme 3 just after this. And he has, I have seen him, right? Taking Bajaj Allianz, which is a motor insurance company. It is a life insurance company. A lot of other portfolios are there. They were at some level, and they are on top today, basically, right? How they have actually interweaved transformation, how they have brought also sustainability, and how they have actually become a data-oriented business today, right? Pretty much outside in, as Vijay also says, very much customer-oriented, from being customer-oriented to becoming customer-obsessed, right? So let's hear from him. Deepu, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Vivek. Good afternoon, everyone. I think, as Vivek said, one needs to be cognizant of time. So I've kept a very brief presentation, and I'll take a slight departure from the way the previous presentations have gone. They focus a lot on learnings. I'll basically focus, my presentation on some examples. So I'll just share it. Vivek, is it visible?
It's just coming up. Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah, so I'll just put it on slideshow mode. Yeah. So the debrief, given by Vivek to me was around, on this entire gamut of transformation, what is the dimension from the insurance industry? So just a very brief point to the note that Vivek made about customer obsession. I think for us, the entire transformation process starts with customers. So it starts with this extremely basic step of listening to customers, which actually a lot of firms miss out, because it's very important to listen to your customers. I think the second one is the most important, which is in terms of figuring out stated needs and unstated needs. I think most firms are good at meeting customers' stated needs, but how do you figure out the customer's unstated needs and meet them? And that's what I think keeps you ahead. The third step is to then review your current landscape, right? Understand how are you configured. And typically you will find that the customer may not be at the center of everything that the firm does, even if that's what they verbalize. And then the fourth step, therefore, is to reconfigure and rearrange it, to meet customer needs. And only then do you go about deploying the right digital solution. Normally there's a lot of focusing on the solution, right? There's a tendency to latch out to the latest buzzword. Everybody's talking about AI, ML, blockchain. So let's do something in that area, but that's not going to work. You need to meet a customer need. So the first 4 steps are extremely critical. So this is the theoretical context, and I just wanted to share, from, as I said, real life examples of what we've launched. So here the whole point is, how do we ensure that data and experience can coexist? So this is an example of telematics. This is an offering given by insurance companies worldwide. Let's imagine that you have a car, right? And then you basically have taken motor insurance. At the end of 1 year, when you're up for renewal, right? Depending on how the car is, right? That's how the pricing takes place. So a lot of customers ask for information during the year. So then you place a device in the car, and then you make it smart. So therefore you get feedback on vehicle diagnostics, and you're also able to get feedback on your driving behavior, and therefore you're able to make it much better. Now, while this is an offering globally, in the Indian context, given that many people use drivers, we said, how can we leverage this, right? This is data. How can we leverage it to enhance customer experience? So we launched a feature called geofencing. So what happens in geofencing is, if let's say there's a working couple and the driver drops them to work in the morning, and then he also drops the kids to school. Now let's say in the afternoon he picks up the kids, and in India we're obviously worried about children's safety. Maybe the children have to be dropped back to school or to a daycare facility. So you can digitally mark the routes, saying that these are the typical routes the driver can take from the school back to home or back to the daycare facility. Now, if the car is taken on a different route, the parents get an alert. Now, this is not possible, without leveraging data and technology. So that's how, we were able to notch up customer experience. Another example in terms of, how data and design can coexist, Vivek did start by saying that, we offer a range of products. So we offer various forms of insurance, including crop insurance. Now, as you all, can imagine, crop insurance is availed of by farmers, who stay in the hinterland of India, and English is obviously not their first language. And rural markets typically do not have organized marketplaces of information. So we said, why don't we empower them? So what we did was we came out with the industry first mobile app, exclusively for crop insurance. So for starters, farmers can use this to basically, interact with us. They can use this app, and exclusively in Indian languages, so in the language of their choice. So they can use this, they can raise a claim, they can ask for an inquiry, they can ask for their policy status, all the transactions that they do with us. Then we also realized that farmers interact a lot with the government. So we also give them access to the government's portal through this app. It became a one-stop shop for them. And when COVID happened, and when they were sitting at home, this became a lifeline, because, using the language of their choice, they could use this to interact with us and interact with the government. And because, to the point that I made, that there is asymmetry of information in the rural landscape, we started giving them a lot of information via app notifications. We gave them crop diagnostics, we gave them weather forecast, we gave them crop diagnostics, we gave them information on pricing, farming updates, and a host of, information. They just loved it. Through sheer word of mouth, our downloads went up. We had a rating of 4.5, in excess of 4.5 on the Google Play Store at one point in time. And this was a unanimous choice for last year's, or rather 2020's EFMA Accenture Innovation and Insurance Award. So clearly a case of, how, data and design, right, can coexist. So I just wanted to share, these couple of examples. As I said, I wanted to keep it very brief and take you through real life examples, in terms of how, whether it is data or whether it is design, it can coexist by completely notching up customer experience. That's all I had to share, Vivek. As I said, I wanted to keep it brief. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Deepu. I think, we will go deeper in insurance industry as we speak more. I think we have already spoken with your Shiva and your organization, and we always want to bring, the real market, the real resonating effect is the integration of products, right? And that's where we also eye upon in terms of getting transformation to the next level. It's called transformation 5.0, right? If you call it digital as industry 4.0. So thanks a lot, Deepu. I think with this, we will switch gears to theme 3. Already there are good, valuable points. I was chatting with Dr. Tyagi, and I was chatting with Mala, Dr. Mala, in the background, that there is a good amount of inputs which have already come in. So just a food of thought, and I don't want to really eat away any time out here, but just a food of thought, around, apart from what we have heard from the leaders out here, there is some research out here, right? If you really say it, I'm very sure Dr. Tyagi and Mala is fully subscribed to this. In terms of some of these top metrics, which is coming from McKinsey and Capgemini and out of their researches, right? Speaking about automotive, it says only 32% of automotive sectors supply chain contributes to circular economy. And I think Vijay was going in that direction, the 360-degree of sustainability, right? You know, how actually it is moving from compliance to purpose and responsibility and conservation, right? So to call. And in the business sense, sustainability within the business plan, right? You know, not just being an CSR objective there. And then more insights, and I'll just flip out quickly from here. You can see automotive industry, you can see fashion industry, the purchase, use, and post-use, you know, more from the metric perspective. We see fashion industry, 37% is moving away from fast fashion. Now the use is repair and repurpose, and of course, the post-use is give away and donate used products. Similar for automotive, 24% research, environmental sustainability factors. And then, of course, regular maintenance is the use. And of course, we are seeing the used vehicles coming back. That sets another dimension in the industry. But yeah, with that, let me call in Mala, Dr. Mala and Dr. Tyagi with all these inputs from theme 1 and theme 2 to lead sustainability from the forefront and beyond just compliance to responsibility, of which a good, I would say, warm-up has been brought in already by Vijay out here. Over to you, Dr. Tyagi and Mala.
Yeah, hi. So I think Dr. Nareshi is going to speak first, or I could start. What would you prefer? So
whichever, Dr. Naresh, you want to start first? From your, yeah.
Yeah.
No, either way is okay. Either way, okay.
Yeah.
Mala, you want to start? You start first, and then.
Yeah. So I think it's better because being the green building and sustainability expert, because I would be discussing more about the holistic built environment, the resilient built environment, what we need. Where I'm very happy that in today's program, Mr. Saha, Vivekji, that all your speakers previously, they just mentioned about the approach of sustainability from their own business perspectives. And I'm very happy that in India, we could see the leadership from the various backgrounds of the corporate sectors, and especially when Vijay Kalraji was talking about a lot of initiative, from the Mahindra and other speakers. So I'm very happy that in India, at least we are talking about sustainability at a very macro level now, because initially, if we just throw a light in the past, so I think these were just very buzzwords and people were just, sustainability is just about, some people have understanding their own definitions, because having this Goodsland definition was not sufficient. Now people have very, I would say, different perspective in their own business style, the way they do businesses, even not the